The biting Chicago wind whipped around Maya as she stood before the imposing brick structure of the Thorne Culinary Institute. This institution was spoken about in hushed, reverent tones among aspiring chefs, a place where culinary dreams were either forged into brilliance or shattered into dust. Maya, a small-town girl with calloused hands and a heart brimming with a passion for food, felt a familiar blend of anxiety and electric excitement. Getting accepted into Thorne had been a long shot. Growing up in rural Indiana, Maya's kitchen had been her sanctuary. While other kids played sports or video games, she was coaxing flavors from humble ingredients, using her grandmother's worn cookbook as her most treasured possession. She hadn't had access to fancy equipment or Michelin-starred mentors. Her training ground was the family farm, with the changing seasons and the honest bounty of the land serving as her inspiration. When she dared to voice her ambition of becoming a chef, well-meaning relatives gently urged her toward more realistic career paths. "It's a harsh world," Maya, her uncle, had cautioned, especially for someone without connections. Doubt, like a persistent weed, tried to take root in her mind. There were moments, especially when comparing herself to the glossy profiles of culinary school graduates online, that her resolve wavered. But then she would remember her grandmother's unwavering belief in her, how her eyes would light up at Maya's experimental dishes. That memory and that steadfast faith became her anchor. The application process for Thorne was rigorous, involving essays and interviews, culminating in a live cooking demonstration in front of a panel of renowned chefs. Maya poured her heart and soul into every stage, with self-belief as her constant companion. During the demonstration, surrounded by the nervous energy and clatter of a professional kitchen, her hands moved with a practiced grace that even surprised her. She chose a simple dish, a roasted chicken with seasonal vegetables, as a testament to her farm-to-table roots. It wasn't flashy or avant-garde, but it was honest, flavorful, and showcased her deep understanding of ingredients. Days turned into weeks, each tick of the clock amplifying Maya's anxiety. The rejection letters that arrived for some of her fellow applicants felt like a foreboding sign. Then, on a crisp autumn morning, an email arrived with the subject line, "Thorne Culinary Institute Admission Decision." Her breath hitched as she clicked it open. The words swam before her eyes. "We are pleased to inform you that a wave of dizziness washed over her. She had been accepted." A raw, unfiltered joy erupted from her chest, a testament to the power of holding on to a dream against all odds. Thorne was everything she had imagined and more, an intense, demanding environment where passion was both celebrated and relentlessly tested. Maya found herself surrounded by incredibly talented individuals, many of whom had years of experience in high-end kitchens. The initial weeks were a whirlwind of complex techniques, unfamiliar ingredients, and the constant pressure to perform. The doubt she had fought so hard to suppress began to resurface. Imposter syndrome whispered insidious lies in her ear. "You don't belong here. You're not good enough." They made a mistake. There were days when she felt overwhelmed, when the intricate sauces refused to emulsify and her knife skills seemed clumsy compared to those of her peers. One particularly challenging day, after a disastrous attempt at a classic French pastry, Maya found herself on the verge of giving up. She sat alone in the bustling student lounge, the sounds of clanking pans and excited chatter fading into a dull hum. Tears welled in her eyes. It was then that Chef Dubois, a stern yet respected instructor known for his unwavering belief in his students' potential, sat down beside her. He didn't offer platitudes or false comfort. Instead, he said, his voice gruff but kind, "Maya, when you presented your roasted chicken, I tasted more than just a dish. I tasted your history, your passion, and your unwavering belief in what you do. That, more than any fancy technique, is what sets a true chef apart. Don't let a few failed pastries extinguish that fire." His words were a lifeline. They reminded her of the foundation of her journey, the unwavering self-belief that had carried her this far. She realized that setbacks were inevitable, and that mastery wasn't about perfection, but about perseverance. From that day forward, Maya's approach shifted. She stopped comparing herself to others and focused on her growth. She embraced the challenges, seeing each failure as an opportunity to learn and improve. She spent extra hours in the kitchen, practicing relentlessly, and her initial self-doubt slowly gave way to quiet confidence. Maya's unique perspective and connection to the land began to shine through in her creations. She wasn't just replicating classic dishes, she was infusing them with her own story and sensibility. Her food radiated warmth and authenticity, resonating with both the judges and her fellow students. The final challenge of the culinary program was a high-stakes competition judged by some of the biggest names in the culinary world. The pressure was immense, and the air was thick with anticipation. Drawing on every ounce of her training and her unwavering self-belief, Maya presented a menu that was both innovative and deeply personal. It was a celebration of the ingredients she had grown up with, elevated by the techniques she had mastered at Thorne. As the judges deliberated, the silence in the grand hall was palpable. When the announcement finally came, Maya could barely breathe. They called her name. She had won. Standing on the stage, bathed in the warm glow of the spotlights and holding the coveted trophy, Maya felt a profound sense of gratitude. It wasn't just for the recognition, but also for the journey itself, for the moments of doubt that had ultimately strengthened her resolve, and most importantly, for the unwavering self-belief that had been her guiding star. The world of professional kitchens was indeed harsh, as her uncle had warned. However, Maya stepped into it not with fear, but with a quiet strength, rooted in her understanding of her worth, talent, and the power of believing in herself. Her journey is a testament to the idea that while talent and opportunity are essential, it is the unshakable conviction in one's abilities that ultimately paves the way to achieving even the most audacious dreams. Ultimately, that inner conviction is the most potent ingredient of all. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.